Hey guys, Howard here with an absolutely gorgeous ballad from George Harrison's Extra Texture album. It's kind of an obscure track for sure, but it's just such a beautiful R&B flavored song. In fact, I think he wrote it as a tribute to Smokey Robinson, one of his favorite singers. And a little shout out to Colin, if you're out there, Colin, watching this. He's a private student of mine, and he suggested this song the other day, and we started messing with it, and I just thought this would make a great video. It's pretty obscure, I know, so maybe 10 people will watch it. I don't know, maybe more. But I wanted to do it anyway because it's just such a cool song. Okay, so a couple of things here. I'm in standard tuning and I'm capoed at the second fret. George obviously is running his very clean guitar tone through a Leslie speaker cabinet. I am using a Sonicake Cloud chorus pedal instead, okay? Now, I've got a really clean sound on my amp. I'm just using an Orange Crush RT20 practice amp, and you can hear it's very clean with that chorusing. Just kind of sweeping across it, okay? So this is a tune that has to be played pretty loosely. And as a note, I'm also going to go through his brief little solo that starts at about 1:45 in the track, and it's just typical, tasty, classy George Harrison guitar playing, okay? So anyway, we start off with a C chord with your pinky on the third fret on the first E string, okay? And we have to play this pretty loosely. And then you can see that I let go of the pinky. So this is going to be more visual than really super specific, okay? But just try to make it your own. He's just kind of being very casual, doing that kind of thing, right? So again, the pinky is on, then it comes off and connects to the third fret on the B string. So that's his first chord phrase. And then you can see the pinky comes off, and that completes what you're going to play on the C chord. So just try to get into the rhythmic pacing of that melody. And then it changes to the next chord. This is an E minor 7, okay? And I play it like that because I think it's easiest to get to from the C chord, but you can play it like that as well, okay? But it is an E minor 7 chord, so it's an E minor chord with the third fret on the B string being played. And I'm referring to the chords in their shape, okay? Not in relationship to the capo. Just to keep things simple and straightforward. So we land that E minor chord, and you can see the pinky comes off. And once again, it's just keeping that strumming light and loose, but knowing how he's pacing that melody. Right? And then we go to an F major 7 chord, and I'm playing it with that C note on the third fret on the A string because I think it makes it sound nice and full. George might actually just be playing it like that because we hear him play this. Right? So he's adding his pinky to the third fret once again on that B string, and he's got this down, up, down, up, down, up motion going. See that he grabs it and then brings it back off. But you can do it with the bigger chord voicing as well. It sounds a little bit fuller. I just reach down with my pinky and grab it. Right? Still sounds pretty sweet indeed. And then we move to this fabulous chord. Very George Harrison, of course. And as a note, the bass player is actually playing this in the bass. So we get this very intriguing sounding, and once again, very George Harrison. So in that respect, for instance, without the capo, just to simplify, you could look at that as an F sharp dominant 7th chord with an A in the bass. But by itself, just being played like this, it's actually an E6 sus sharp 11. Believe it or not, it is. That's a good password, I guess. But you don't have to worry about that. It's a super easy chord to play. You can see it's just one finger on the first fret from the capo on the G string, okay? and then he's going to add his pinky to the first fret, or this finger, whichever you like, to the, not the first fret, but the third fret on the first E string. Okay, and that gives us our first chord progression. And then you repeat that, of course, and as he starts singing, he starts messing less with the chords, if you will, if you know what I mean. Like he might go, just keeping the background a little bit cleaner, right? But either way is fine because it kind of captures what he's singing anyway. So once again, we want to play through that chord cycle twice. And then we head to what is a G minor seventh. Once again, I'm calling the chords out as they would be standard shapes, as if this was the first fret. Okay, so we got a G minor seventh, so I'm barring at the third fret. Once again, the third fret from the capo, all 6 strings. And your ring finger is on the 5th fret on the A string. Beautiful G minor seventh chord, and so we have... Just keep your strumming nice and loose, just that type of thing, and you can arpeggiate a little bit. You know, anything you want to do to decorate. And then we bring it up to what would be the 6th fret from the capo, and that makes this a B flat minor 7. Exact same chord shape, but just up on the 6th fret, okay? To the original chord progression, all right? So after the G minor 7 to the B flat minor 7, okay, we have a G7 sharp 9. The infamous Jimi Hendrix chord, but fingered a little bit differently than what most of us might do. So this would be the 5th fret from the capo on the D string, the 4th fret on the G string, and then these 2 fingers are on the 6th fret on the E string and the B string. Okay, so that's a G7 sharp 9. It's just a down, up, down. And then what you want to do is release your pinky so that we now get a G7 flat 9. So you got to reach over and bar with that finger. Hopefully you can see that, but I'll try to give it to you this way. And then, and you'll have it. That is the chord progression for this beautiful song. There is a tag, I call it, toward the end, okay? He comes back in singing after the instrumental interlude and all of that, and he rests on that F major 7 chord, and then he turns it into a pure minor, and then an E7 played like that. So let me talk about that a little bit. This is the way it will go down. Back in, okay? So what that is it's where the lyric is "do anything for you." He's on that F sharp major 7. So it's just down, up, down, up. Then simply bar across the bottom 3 strings, the first 3 strings, bottom meaning towards your feet, and do the same thing. So we have, and then we have an E7 chord played like so. 2nd fret on the A string, 1st fret on the G string, and 3rd fret on the 1st E string. Then take your pinky off and you'll hear George kind of build it. And he puts it back on, right? Again, so that interlude is this. Just absolutely beautiful, right? So as promised, I also want to talk about the brief solo, basically double stops and chord inversions that he plays at about 1:45 in the song. We're traveling at about 60 beats per minute on this, and I'll use a click in the background so you can really hear his phrasing, okay? Typical, very tasty, classy guitar playing from George Harrison, okay? So once again, I'm going to tab this out for you for sure, but once again, I'm referring to the frets from the capo, all right? So in other words, this is the 1st fret, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, okay? So I'm going to be on the 7th fret for this, and I'm using my 2nd finger on the 7th fret on the G string, and then my ring finger would be on the 8th fret on the B string, 8th fret from the capo again. And all you're going to do with this double stop, it's a 4th, is you're going to slide it back and forth. Right, so I'm sliding it up a whole step, and then picking twice, then sliding back, and picking twice. So we have. Now this is a cool little move right here. From this double stop, you're going to go. So what he's doing there is you're sliding all the way down to the 5th fret on the G string, okay? But simultaneously slipping your ring finger right under it, so you're also on the 5th fret on the B string. Cool little move there. One more time, nice and slow. And then we want to go. And you can use whatever fingers you want for this. Maybe the first 2 is the best way to go. But now I'm on the 2nd fret on the G string and the 3rd fret on the B string. It's a 4th again. And you just slide down like that. You're sliding with your 2nd finger to the 1st fret on the B string and simultaneously letting go of the G string. Really nice moves. So we have. And then we play an E minor chord, which is just the 2nd fret on the D string and then the open strings towards your feet, all right? You just brush through the chord. And we're playing 3, 5, 7 on the 1st E string, and you can just let the other strings kind of ring through that. Now this is really cool. This is where it goes to an F major 7 chord. And what George is doing is he's basically playing parts of the different inversions, okay? This is something that I covered in my jazz series, Guitar Lessons Beginning Jazz Guitar. If you're thinking about an F major 7 chord, you have one there, you have one there, and you have one there. So what George is doing here, which is really cool, is he's using just the first 3 strings and playing those portions of those three chords, okay? Oops, sorry. So he's playing really cool, right? Just all against that F major 7 chord. So you can see it on the tab, but I'll play it nice and slow. That's exactly how he plays it. And then he finishes with, okay, and you can see that on the tab as well. That's a really nice solo, but what you want to watch is the phrasing, okay? So I'll play it again all the way through, but with that click ticking away in the background, hopefully you can hear it, because the phrasing is really important, especially on the... Okay, so here it is with the noisy click in the background. Just really nice, okay? All right, so there you go with Ooh Baby, You Know That I Love You from George Harrison's Extra Texture album. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really cool tune, a little bit obscure in his catalog, I suppose, but for those 10 of you who are watching this video, I'm just kidding. Hopefully more people will watch it as well. Anyway, all the best to everyone as always. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you in the next video.